Today I'm going to give a halfway book review about this book, The Witch's Book. This book was written by Kelly Van Hill. Just it is because of the reflection, or I mean the mirror image. I think you can't see this clearly, but it was written The Witch's Boy. This book was written by Kelly Van Hill, and I know these pages and letters won't be this much good enough, but I will be uploading it soon in my Instagram pages so that you could see the fonts and the other thing. But before getting into those things, let me say the outline of this book. Outline, sorry, I mean the story outline of this book. Okay, so this book is exactly, if I want to say, this book is more than 360 371 pages long. Right. So this book was written by Kelly Van Hill. This author is already famous for her first book, The Girl Who Drank Them. I read that ebook copy, so I can't give the review about that book by showing this physical product. Like that, I can't say that. And moreover, I read only half of that story, so I don't want to get into that book. Even though many of the people was raving about that book, but I don't find it anything magical. And at the same time, it is completely different from that previous book, The Girl Who Drank the Moon. This book, let me say the story outline. Again, I'm saying this because I forget the point. Because it is my first live, so there might be some mistakes, definitely, just being a human, right? So, coming to the story outline, that is a twin named Ned and Tam. Before getting into that, let me show the uh, map of this imaginary land of this book. Okay, can you able to see this? So here I can't. Oh, see, I don't have a very good something. I think you will forgive me. So this is the place where Dunin King resides, and after that you have great mountains and a dangerous trees were here. And this is the Queen's protectorate. So this is where the Queen rules now, and there flows the great river that ends in the Great Sea. And near to that great river, this is the Great River, and near to that Great River, you could see the Ned's village. Okay, so that is the hero of this book, and you could see a boy riding a raft along with a girl and a wolf. This is that girl, Aini, and this is the boy, Ned, and this is the wolf. Right. Okay. Coming into the thing. Ned was twin brother of Tam, and these two boys are sons of the witch. She is a pure-hearted one. She uses all her magical skills and witchery uh, only to benefit the people, and not she don't use those magical skills for herself or for the benefit of her own. She just uses only for the uh, benefit and benefit of the people, especially the villages, and she cures many diseases. She is a healer too, so people used to call her sister witch. Just to respect her, they were called sister witch. And one day, these two twins, they were crafting a raft. Considering that their raft will just end into the sea, so that they could get a glimpse of the sea and they could enjoy the sea. But unfortunately, the raft was not crafted in a proper way, and those two guys who don't swim, who don't know swimming, they just drowned into the river. And in those protectorate, people used to think that the river was controlled by the demon, and none should get into the river because that demon could even catch them or their souls, and they could capture their souls. So this was the thing the people nearby that village were thinking. So no one dared to jump into the river to rescue those two boys. But their father, that is the witch's husband, um, he can't say such thing, and he plunged into the water and rescued one boy, that is Ned, and uh, he took sadly he took the dead body of the other boy, Tam, and after taking that, the villagers to take the body of Tam, and his father was giving first aid to Ned, and meanwhile, which they took the two people to the witch's home, and there, which was doing something, but she can't get up. And from the basement, she was hearing a sound that was from the magical clay pot that contains the black magic that will whenever the witch uses the magic for healing other villagers, her body will drained of energy. Whenever she uses the magic to help the people, her energy will be drained off. So she has to even her father, even her husband can't touch her to heal her or to feed her. She doesn't have such an energy that she can't scoop a porridge to eat by herself. It was such a very dreadful thing, but she endured all such pains to heal the people of that village. But these things, even though people know, they don't care about that. They just want to get healed, and nothing much. They just give respect that she's just a witch. That's all. Then what happened on the other day? That coming to the next part, she was called by the magic. That means she can hear it from the basement. That magical part is asking, since I can help it, why don't you allow me to heal the young boy? The magic was asking this woman, and she was totally in confusion because she is not in a mood to lose any of her children. But Ned was already in the state of coma, like something, and Tam was already dead. Even though he is dead, his spirit or the soul will never get. It was not out of the body; it was just staying in the body of Tam. So that means there is a possibility of witch skill, so that which can keep that boy alive. But what happened, Ned was going dead. Even though Tam was dead, his spirit can be controlled, and it can be nozzled into some other's body. In the same way, the magic was saying such things. The witch doesn't have any idea, and she was just crying, and she wants to save at least one of her children. So. Uh, her honesty was at stake. Um, she accepted the black magic, and the black. What she did is the beautiful soul of time came out of the body, and she took that soul and stitched into the eternal body of Ned, and so that only witch and Ned can see the surgical scar on the chest of Ned, but for others view it is not visible. It is an invisible scar on near the heart of Ned. That means that the spirit of Tam was just stitched onto the heart of Ned. When this happens, Ned was what to say, it is, even though it is very sad story at the beginning, um, I think I can endure something like that. No, I mean, I'm not saying that I can endure such thing, but I can read it. I can just read that book. I can continue reading that book. Uh, then what happened? That soul was pressed into the body of Ned, and he started to live, and he is surviving that dreary drench and drowning all thing. And later, what happened? He started to give a strange behavior by isolating himself from the people, and he can't read properly. It is like a dyslexia. Before drowning himself into the river, he used to study many things. He used to read many things. But after this thing, After the black magic enters, after the tame's soul enters the heart of Ned, he feels like little bit of dyslexia. He can't read it properly, and he used to stammer when he wants to speak with the people. Then what happened is totally different. People used to throw something odd about this boy. The wrong boy was saved instead of Tam, and this hurts sister witch. But this guy Ned doesn't bother about those things. He used to live in a separate world where he don't speak, but he speaks only in the dreams. In the dreams, his brother Tam comes in his dream, and these two people will be chatting, and they have the great dream of getting into the sea using their raft and many other things. They used to speak using in those dreams. He don't stammer. He is to speak fluently, unlike me in English, right? So this is the one thing. And next, what happens? This was happening for years. He don't speak many words. You can count the words he has spoken to his parents and to the people. And one day, the queen was visiting their village. So while queen was visiting, one of her relative tries to kill her. Uh, and what happened? The queen will. So the queen was protected by the sister using her sister wish using her wit skills, and so because of that, the queen invited her to her castle or the palace, I don't know, to that which is far away from their village. So on one fine day, she decided to go to the palace on the invitation of the queen. So when she was going, her husband asked her, "Why don't you take your magic?" No, 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 it is not needed. I don't need it there. She told him, and she went. But there she felt something odd after entering the village because, meanwhile, here in the village, what's happening? The bandits was looting into the village. The bandits, especially they know who is Sister Witch, and they came to her. They came to her home, and they thrashed Ned's father onto the ground, and he threatened to kill uh, Ned's father if he don't give the magical clay part. So he was left with no choice. So he asked the magic to get into him, to stitch into him. So magic was magic get inside this Ned's body, and he felt like he was set ablaze. Such a fiery feeling was inside him. Feels like he was burning because of that magic. And the bandit knows because bandit also has some magical skills. He used to wear a pendant, and these pendant and the magic, all the thing was related to 9 stones. So the 9 stones, they don't know for how many years, no, how many millions of years, I don't know, that was living there in a particular place, which when people used to go there, they used to talk to that because thinking that even though they can't speak with people, some of the things, right? So people who was very worried or who was planning something they don't get achieved, they go to that stone, they used to talk with that stone, and they get relieved, and then they go off. But that stone make a magic. The magic was a part of the magical clay part has some magic that was related to the stones, right? So many thing was happening to people when they speak with the stone. They were just lifting the burden to the stones, and they go freely, and they get that some of their things were being what is it, being settled, and they were all happy. And these stones were waiting for something to happen, so that these were all boys and girls who was turned into stone, 9 stones, large tall stones. And so the Stonehenge like stones, right? And these things are all intermixed, related, and many things are happening in this. So the story so far, I feel like new vocabulary can be learned from the story, and as an adult, I'm not. Actually, first 100 pages are very interesting, very interesting. Apart from ages, apart from age level, anyone can read that. First 100 pages was very interesting, and later on, I feel like something was dragging and many things was explained, but the actions was still even though the actions are explained, something is I feel that the pages was going like it is just like flying, but I don't feel like any actions are happening in the story. After 100 pages many things are happening, but I don't complain about that because I'm going to finish this book. After finishing this book, I will not do any book review about this book, and if you want, you can buy it from Amazon.